Greetings folks, and welcome back to the channel for another unboxing and review. And today it's the turn of another Eaglemoss vehicle. Yes, it's the UD-4L, aka the Cheyenne, aka the Dropship from James Cameron's 1984 epic that is Aliens. Usual format folks, box, ship and then showcase at the end. But before we get in the pipe, 5x5, a couple of things I need to mention. Number one, Mr. Go Figure has Go Figure man flu and is coughing like a coughing thing that coughs a lot. So if I cough and splutter my way through this review, please forgive me. Also, it's worth mentioning as well, I would like to send a massive thank you as always to everyone who supported Go Figure. Please drop a like on this review as it helps other people find the channel, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon. You'll be sure not to miss any of the action figure and collectible goodness we've got coming up on the channel, and you'll also be helping an old collector in his quest for validation. So, regulars to the channel know my love of all things alien, and the Eaglemoss rabbit hole I recently tripped into. This will be the fourth alien-related piece from the Eaglemoss line we've reviewed on the channel. If you're wanting to check out more, please check out the channel homepage, and there'll be some links at the end of this review to the other vehicles that we've looked at and the other Eaglemoss stuff. So, the Cheyenne, an armoured troop carrier designed by James Cameron and Ron Cobb and loosely based on the Apache attack helicopter apparently. It's pretty much instantly recognisable and a little vehicular piece of alien history. But enough of my ramblings, onto this box. Let's stop it from spinning and have a quick look. It's the usual story for those familiar with Eaglemoss products. You've got this really high quality stock card, magnetically sealed box. On the front here it says Aliens, Dropship. You've got a picture of the Cheyenne itself. You've got this sort of green splodgy mess thing going on at the bottom here, which is sort of standard with their Aliens line. It says Hero Collector at the bottom, and you've got this sort of green nebula star thing in the background as well. On the sides here, or rather the bottom should I say, Aliens again, says Dropship. There's a brief description there of the vehicle, and once again another shot of the Cheyenne itself. Same story around the top, only in black this time. Pretty much the same on the sides as well, just says Aliens. It's the same thing again, but no picture of the ship this time. And around the back you've got the usual credits and warnings and websites and so on. Don't piss this ship off, or you might find yourself left on an unstable platform. As I mentioned, usual magnetically clasped box. We'll just get this turntable out of the way. When you open this thing up, you are greeted with a foam inlay, and on the inside of the cover, as with most of Eaglemoss's products, you've got this really nice picture in the back there, in the background. You've got that sort of green nebula thing going on, Aliens again, and another shot of the ship. Box itself has got a foam inlay on the top, and it's foam inside. And inside is the ship itself, all nicely covered up. Yeah, that's the box. So without further ado, let's get the Cheyenne out of this box. Let's get it onto the stand, onto the turntable, and find out what it's all about. Okay folks, so here she is. It's the Cheyenne herself, straight out of the box, straight onto the stand, and straight onto the turntable. And first impressions, I have to say, first impressions are very, very good indeed. The proportions look on point, the detailing looks really good, the screen accuracy looks there. It looks like they've pretty much nailed it on. The paint colours themselves, well, we'll go into those in a little bit more detail in a moment when we get up close with it. But yeah, this is the XL version of this particular piece. Now, I haven't seen a standard version out there, so I'm not sure whether that actually is a thing and whether that exists. But yeah, this is classed as the XL version, and there are two XL versions out there. There's this one, and there's a separate version with the payload doors open, or should I say payload wings, which are basically these sections on here. And if you've seen the movie, you'll know that they open up like wings underneath and over the top and contain all the missiles. So that version is out there. I went for this version because I sort of prefer the sleek look of the Cheyenne to the payload doors open, try saying that 3 times, version. Although that version may very well sneak its way into the collection at some point. But yeah, we will do as we always do. We will stop it from spinning and have an up close look at the details. We will start with the stand that it's on, just take it off for a second. and it's the usual story from Eaglemoss here. What you've got is this clear perspex section which slots directly into the base itself. Worth mentioning at this point, there are two little grooves there on the flat part of the stand, and I believe what they're supposed to do is actually slot into these tread sections here where these sleds are, these ski feet sleds. I'm going to call them sleds for want of a better expression, but yeah, they slot under there. Exercise a bit of caution if you're putting it in there. I think that's where they go, he said confidently. It may very well go the other way around, I don't know, but whichever way around you do put it, be careful not to push it in too far, because these sleds are made of plastic, and you don't want to damage them. But yeah, it's clear perspex as with all other Eaglemoss products, and there's the usual air bubble in there. Now I'm starting to think more and more that these are done on purpose, and not a manufacturing defect, for want of a better word. But I'm starting to spot them now, and I'm looking out for them. I'm going to call this one the pear drop bubble because it's pear drop shaped. But that's enough of my childishness. Yeah, the perspex section just slots directly into the base itself. There's a little square peg in there, and it simply, he said confidently, and it simply slots in there like that. The base section itself is the usual Eaglemoss base, made out of solid metal, which is nice to see, which means it's secure and steady and hopefully won't move around too much in your display, with that felt pad on the bottom to give it even more grip. And you've got that little alien sticker there, it says Aliens Dropship in the center there. So yep, that's the stand. We'll pop that to one side. Actually, we'll reconstruct it and then pop it to one side, because no doubt we're going to be using that momentarily, and we will bring in the Cheyenne herself for a close-up look. Straight away, first thing I noticed on getting this piece in hand is the weight of this. It's really got some heft to it for its size, and that's because a lot of this is actually metal, is die cast. As far as I can tell, the only plastic pieces on here are this section on the underneath, the sleds there, and the rear tail fin is all plastic. But the rest of this, yeah, pretty much that, and the antenna at the front here, pretty much everything else on here is die cast, so it gives it some heft. And it also feels as though you've got something premium in your hands as well. It feels solid and well made. But we'll have a look at the details. We'll start with the proportions. Well, as I mentioned, absolutely spot on as far as I can tell. The paint applications, we'll start with this fin section, this plastic fin section, and straight away what they've done is, as with the actual screen accurate model of the Cheyenne, they picked out these panel sections with these white lines, which is absolutely on point and screen accurate. The detailing on here, you've got the 01 on the back section there, one of two obviously that were on board the, or was it three? No, I think it was two. Yeah, there were two on board the Sulaco. This is the 01 version. You've got lots of little detailings going on here, like the camera's catching this is in red lettering there. It says Jet Blast, and it says Danger Intake on the side here, and it's really nice that these are readable and really well done. It says Jet Blast again there on the midsection. On these two sections containing the payload, you've got warning, rear pod elevates rather, and then front pod elevates there, and it's just the little bits of detailing going on here. There's lettering and numbering all over these sections, which really make it convincing. The paint applications themselves, now this is interesting. They've got an attempted weathering here with these white paint, what looks like white paint applications, to sort of indicate scuffs and scratches and dinks and so on, which is effective, I have to say. But underneath the actual paint, on the paint application itself, is not clear, or clean rather, and I hope the light's catching this, but it looks like it's actually, it could possibly be airbrushing or dry brushing on top of that green, and there are greys and browns picking out the details, and it really adds to that overall weathered effect, which I think looks really good. And once again, those red areas are highlighted as well. You've got that warning section on the top there. You've got that symbol there, which is screen accurate. on the cockpit section on the side, you've got the Cheyenne symbol on both sides. It's the level of detailing here which is I think really outstanding. Even down to the missiles in the payload section of these sort of wings that are on the side of the ship. You've got there's some red paint application. I know the light is actually getting in there. It's difficult to get the light right in, but on those missiles, take my word for it, there are red rings painted around those missiles. They're not just one flat white coat. So overall, very well done. The underside, that paint application continues. As I mentioned, these skids are plastic, these sleds are plastic on the bottom there. Perhaps not quite as much detailing on the rear side of the payload here on these wing sections that open up, but overall pretty good. You've got browns on the vents on the sides and on the rear of the engine. Perhaps a little bit more weathering around this section here, but it's still pretty effective. And overall, yeah, the detailing and the screen accuracy are there for me. I think this is a really great little piece. We will get it back on the stand because what I want to do is talk about this, the coloration here, the paint applications. Now, as regulars to the channel will know, and those people who've watched my other Eaglemoss reviews, coloration can be difficult. The base color itself. As those of you who've seen the Sulaco review that we put up recently on the channel, the colour was completely off on that one. They've just got this sort of matte grey going on, where it's clearly visible in the film that the Sulaco was a sort of a deep bluey grey. It wasn't the sort of a light grey matte colour all over, and I was a bit disappointed with that. This, I think, is a lot better in the coloration. Is it 100% screen accurate? Oh, the big debate. Now, mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. It depends what you're watching the movie on. Are you watching it on an old VHS? Are you watching it on an old DVD? Are you watching it on Blu-ray, 4K, 5K? Are you watching it on a streaming service? Excuse me, if you're getting pictures of it, are they old stock? The lighting, the colorization, have these pictures been touched up? I could go on, and all of these things impact the color of this, the color that you see on screen. I'm not going to go into too much detail and drag up hundreds of photos of this, because it does vary depending on your source material. But what I have found, and I'll bring it in at this point, just bear with me, is a shot of, now this is from, I'm just going to move the Cheyenne back a little bit so we can get this photograph into shot. Now this is a shot from an auction house called Prop Store, who are currently auctioning off one of the miniatures used in the film. Now, to me, that looks more grey, but you could, I'll zoom in here. Now, you could mistake that for, that could be dirt, that could be weathering on the ship itself, and it could be green underneath. But it does look distinctly more grey, and it looks like what Eaglemoss have done here is gone for a more military green. But as I say, it really does vary where you look. It varies from source to source on the colours. James Cameron used a lot of sort of a blue palettes in the film itself, which tended to tint a lot of colours of a lot of other objects, not just this ship itself. So really, it swings and roundabouts. I am not going to have a go at Eaglemoss here for their choice of colour. I think it works. Is it 100% accurate? Who knows? But it works for me, and I do know it's a lot better than the Sulaco. Let's put it that way. So there you have it, folks. Let's bring it back into shot and go in for final thoughts on this piece from Eaglemoss. I have to say, I really like it. I do. I think from the weight, the fact that it's got so much die cast in it, which gives it that premium feel, to the proportions, to the screen accuracy. Not too bothered if that colour is ever so slightly off, but I can't say that it definitively is. I just think it's a great little piece and a fantastic representation of the Cheyenne from James Cameron's Aliens. Score out of 10. Ooh, tough one. I've started scoring Eaglemoss recently. It's going to be high, this one. Definitely going to be high. I think this is possibly up there with one of their best pieces I have seen yet. I'm going to give this a 9. I think I'm going to knock a point off possibly for the weathering. I think the paint application, just the weathering, not the colour, but the weathering could have been a little bit heavier on here, which might have given it that more that greyer feel, but with that military green still showing through. But overall, I think it's a fantastic little piece. Really glad to have it in the collection, and it will look fantastic alongside the Sulaco, the Nostromo, and the other Alien and Aliens vehicles that we've got coming up to review on the channel. So there you have it, folks. The Cheyenne is going to walk away with a very strong 9. So, what are your thoughts on this piece? What are your thoughts on the Cheyenne? What are your thoughts on Eaglemoss? What are your thoughts on the movie? What are your thoughts on anything at all? Please, nothing's off menu, so drop a comment in the comment section below. And what have we got coming up on the channel? Well, plenty more Eaglemoss stuff, that's for sure. In the 1/6 scale action figure world, we have got a raft of things. We've got stuff from Hot Toys, from Pure Arts, from InArt, from Caustic Plastic, from Present Toys, Old Toys, Mars Toys. The list is endless, so please hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the action figure goodness coming up. We've also got more episodes of Don't Make Me Choose, where I pit 2 action figures or similar collectibles against each other. We've got more episodes of Grail or Fail, where we revisit a 6 scale action figure to find out if it still retains its Grail status today. What else have we got coming up? Updated tour video is currently in production, so that should be with us really, really soon. So yeah, don't forget to mash that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of it. So yeah, I suppose all it remains for me to say, as always, is a huge thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. From myself, from the Cheyenne, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.